And today, in sentences I literally never thought I would ever say, we are going to be having a look at the issue surrounding Kim Kardashian and her bearded dragon Speed. Creatures, it's Em and welcome back to my channel. If you're brand new here, welcome. My name's Em, I'm a former zookeeper and I'm an animal educator. If you haven't already, remember to hit that subscribe button down below, become part of the creature crew, and also hit that notification bell down in the corner there so you don't miss a single upload. Today's video does not have an official sponsor, however I am a Zen Habitats affiliate. Zen Habitats, if you're unaware, are a wonderful animal enclosure company and they create larger than average spaces which are beautifully crafted and so easy to assemble for all of your exotic pets. I have an example of one right behind me here. This is the 4x2x4 PVC panel enclosure which I keep my tokay geckos in. They need a higher humidity level, which is why I chose the PVC option. I also have two snakes which are in the wood panel options, which promote a more dry climate, so that suits my two snakes perfectly. If you're looking to upgrade your own reptiles or you want to check out the Zen Habitats collection for yourself, you can find my affiliate link down in the description box of this video. There are also a ton of free care sheets available on the Zen Habitats website, so if you're looking to just come up to speed with your crested gecko, leopard gecko, or even bearded dragon care, be sure to go and check out the Zen Habitats website by again using my link down below. Thank you all for listening to this little self-sponsorship. It seemed quite fitting given that we'll be speaking about bearded dragons today. Now let's get on with the meat of this show. Yesterday, which was the 3rd of March 2021, Kim Kardashian posted this series of pictures to her Instagram. These pictures show her adorable daughter holding a bearded dragon which is dressed up in a suit, which is apparently a designer outfit. And given that Kim Kardashian is one of the largest social media personalities out there with an Instagram account of over 208 million followers as of the recording of this video, it's unsurprising to know that the comments began flooding in, and most of them initially were comments of support from fans, admirers, as well as other celebrities, all praising Kim Kardashian for this very cute series of pictures. Now, the internet is the internet, and it didn't take long for this series of images to reach bearded dragon owners, and they were understandably very concerned and some were outraged. Today we're going to be discussing why that was the case. What do you think about Kim Kardashian's post? I would love to hear your feedback. Let me know down in the comment section below what your thoughts are. So what I'm going to do is, over the next couple of minutes, I'm going to be breaking down the scientific, moral, and social implications of Kim Kardashian's post.
So what's the issue with these bearded dragon pictures? At first you might think that Speed is just an overloved lizard being doted on by a little girl who clearly loves her pet, but on closer inspection we can see a variety of worrying issues. Let's start with the most obvious. Posture. In each of these pictures, Speed is being held in a highly unnatural position. Bearded dragons are terrestrial animals, which means that they live on the ground. They do have some climbing ability, but they generally like to be able to feel the ground under their belly. By holding this lizard up like this, it will feel extremely exposed, which could cause stress. In reptiles, stress can induce regurgitation and disrupt digestion. Holding a bearded dragon like this, almost the way that someone might hold a baby doll, compromises the dragon's ability to breathe. Again, this could lead to mental stress as well as physical stress on the dragon's lungs, as well as a small but still very real chance of suffocation. Next up, we can see that the bearded dragon has a shiny red dot on its forehead. This is actually a decorative gem which has been stuck on the bearded dragon in much the same fashion that someone might decorate their face for a music festival. You know, way back when we could actually go to music festivals. There is no sure way to know what is being used to stick the gem on the dragon's head, maybe eyelash glue, craft glue, or just a peel and stick adhesive, but my worry is that it may be a toxic chemical which could be absorbed into the dragon's bloodstream. Furthermore, bearded dragons have a third eye called the parietal eye. This third eye helps them to sense light and dark and synthesizes a hormone called melatonin, which helps the bearded dragon to regulate biological cycles connected related to reproduction, sleep, and body temperature. By blocking this third eye, the bearded dragon may think it's in the shade and cause itself to overheat by staying in a hot location. It also causes a false shadow over its head, which the dragon could confuse with the shadow of an aerial predator, which could lead to more stress and possibly aggressive behavior. Next, let's look at the feet of the bearded dragon. A healthy bearded dragon has evenly colored toes which match the color of the rest of the bearded dragon's skin, and short but relatively sharp claws. This bearded dragon has something bizarre happening to its feet and toes. They appear red and inflamed, which could signify some kind of severe infection in its hind feet. We can't quite see the state of its front feet, but in this image we can see what may be a similarly affected front claw peeking out from underneath this costume. The poor quality of the images when I zoom in make it difficult to tell if the bearded dragon has inflamed toes, or, equally alarming, if this pigment is the remnants from a separate dress-up activity such as nail polish or lipstick. Given that this bearded dragon is dressed in a costume and has a gem stuck to its head, it's not out of the realm of possibility to think that it may have endured some form of nail art, but of this I have no concrete proof. And looking at the state of the dragon's nails, which are extremely long and curled, it leads me to believe that the bearded dragon is being kept in a setup which is subpar, without varying textures for the dragon to naturally file its own nails, and possibly extremely filthy, causing a buildup of bacteria on the feet and under the toes of this dragon. My opinion is that this bearded dragon desperately needs to be seen by a vet for immediate investigation into what is causing such severe redness on the dragon's toes, as well as possible metabolic bone disease. A vet will also be able to provide careful nail clipping. Just as with dogs and cats, bearded dragons also have a quick, which when cut can cause severe pain. It's possible that the quick has elongated with the unacceptable length that these nails have been allowed to grow to, and they must be clipped back slowly to allow the quick to recede. There also has to be an action plan to provide the bearded dragon with the right environment at home so as to allow it the ability to climb and gently file its own nails. I don't feel that Kim Kardashian's child is to blame. Ultimately, children learn from their parents and guardians, and in any home, it's up to the adults to research any pet they bring home and be prepared to provide the animal with the correct care as well as set a good example.
I would say that certainly Kim Kardashian does need to reevaluate the way that she is keeping her bearded dragon. And Kim, if you're listening and you're watching, have your people call my people, because I have some ideas and I'd be more than happy to help you out with your bearded dragon enclosure. Next up, I want to explore, is it moral to put animals in clothes? And really this section is short because I'm more asking you what you think about this. Where I stand on this, as long as an animal is healthy and not in any distress, I personally don't see too much of an issue with dressing an animal up for a short period of time if the animal is not distressed. However, you might have a different opinion. I personally have put my old bearded dragon, Bad Idea, in a harness which had a pair of wings. And in the past, I've also dressed him up for the occasional photo shoot, but this only lasted a little while and at no point did he show any signs of distress. To this day, I still dress up my dog, Kiba, who doesn't seem to mind that I put him in clothes. In fact, he sees it as a positive because every time I put him in a ridiculous outfit for an Instagram post, he gets a treat. So he knows that his costume box is associated with positivity. There's some positive reinforcement there, he looks forward to it. But does that make that morally acceptable? Do I as an owner have the right to do that? So I would like to hear what your thoughts are on dressing up your pets and on this bearded dragon rocking its own designer outfit. So be sure to leave a comment down in the comment box below. And now let's look at the social implications of this bearded dragon post, because any social media influencer has, as the name suggests, influence. It's a power of sorts, and with great power comes great responsibility. So Kim Kardashian, one could say, has an obligation to ensure that she's putting out a good message, as do all social media influencers. It is possible that Kim Kardashian could be promoting people to go out and impulse purchase a bearded dragon. Other people who also have children might think, hey, if a bearded dragon is good enough for Kim Kardashian's daughter, what about for my my own child. Perhaps they might have a wonderful relationship with a bearded dragon. And just going back to Kim Kardashian's wording, I'm paraphrasing here, but I believe she said something to the tune of her daughter and bearded dragon being something inseparable because they're always together, they go everywhere together. This is not a good idea to promote to the public because bearded dragons do need a temperature gradient and they need specific lighting. Bearded dragons will not appreciate being out all the time. In the wild, bearded dragons like to spend some time hiding away, and they also like to spend some time basking, but very rarely will they be snuggled up to a mammal for hours and hours a day going to different places. They have their territory and that's where they feel comfortable and confident. So really promoting the idea that there is a strong emotional bond between her daughter and the bearded dragon can be misleading, and it might lead people to believe that a bearded dragon will be the same as, say, bringing a dog home, that it wants to interact with you and be social and be loyal to you, which is not entirely true. Reptiles, although they are fascinating, are not the kind of creature that necessarily want to interact with us all the time. There are, of course, exceptions, but for the most part, I would say the rule is that most reptiles tolerate being handled. They don't necessarily crave being handled, and I have a feeling that this bearded dragon would be far happier being left alone in an adequate and good setup as opposed to being carried everywhere, if that is indeed what's going on, which in such a busy household I actually believe is probably false, but it is still certainly a very damaging image to bearded dragons to promote that to people who don't know any better and might be inclined to rush out and buy a bearded dragon for their own home. The other social issue as well is not taking accountability. At this point, I think it'd be very good of Kim Kardashian to acknowledge her followers' genuine concerns about the care of the bearded dragon, but it seems as though she's just sort of moved on from it and glossed over it, at least at the time of recording this video at 3:34 p.m. on the 4th of March. She hasn't released any kind of statement. So to me, I don't know Kim Kardashian, but it gives me the sense that she doesn't really care that much about what other people think about the state of the bearded dragon. And that's perhaps not the best social example to set for a community. To me, it would make me feel like my voice in a part of a community doesn't matter, especially on something so important as animal health and animal welfare. So I think that does reflect poorly on Kim, but that remains to be seen. Ultimately, we don't know what's going on behind the scenes. It could be that she chooses to listen quietly, reflect privately, and then adjust accordingly, or she might do nothing. And then just to wrap up socially as well, I think we have to look at what the wider implications are, not just to the state of animals being bought as pets, but the ability for certain animals to be bought as pets as well. If you are currently unaware, Florida last week, about a week ago now, passed a bill making it actually illegal to buy certain species of reptile as pets, some very common species. And now, granted, a lot of this legislation is because of the plight of native wildlife being outcompeted by introduced wildlife and invasive species, and that really is what these bills look towards. However, posts such as Kim Kardashian's do have an impact politically for animals as well. They become leverage for animal rights extremists to use in court in order to try and pass bills to prevent certain animals from being kept as pets. If you're unaware, I will touch on this in another video to come, but the view of many animal rights groups is to completely abolish any animal being kept as a pet, whether it is a dog, a reptile, or a goldfish. And as with most changes, they do try and single out the most easily targeted communities. That would be the reptile community, because very few people actually do like or keep reptiles. So once you bring in a lot of legislation to ban reptiles as pets, then they can perhaps go for aquatics or invertebrates, and then birds, and then slowly you work up the ladder until you get to mammals and domestic animals like dogs and cats. So that's the ultimate agenda in a nutshell for very far-right extreme animal rights activists. But nonetheless, images such as Kim Kardashian's carousel, which depict her bearded dragon in very poor condition and being almost taken advantage of as a kind of prop for this social media post, does not give out perhaps the best look, and can be used as leverage by certain groups who wish to see these animals being abolished as pets, which in my opinion I can almost understand, because nobody wants to see an animal being abused. However, the vast majority of people who keep bearded dragons do desperately care for their bearded dragons and give them wonderful care. And I'm hugely impressed, especially in recent years, by how many people have been taking extra steps to upgrade their enclosure sizes, to give their animals, not just bearded dragons, but all of their pets, more, and who are looking at their pets as real members of the family with thoughts and complex emotions and complex needs, as opposed to a pastime or a toy to play with when one is bored and then can be discarded. And to wrap up, obviously this is not the most wonderful example of bearded dragon ownership, but there are plenty of accounts out there which do show wonderful bearded dragon care, and certainly I know I shouted out Zen Habitats at the beginning of this this video, but they do very frequently show their customer setups, and some of their setups are absolutely beautiful, and really show what can be achieved for giving a bearded dragon a really wonderful lifestyle, which is luxurious in many forms, but doesn't pertain to having to put clothes on a bearded dragon. It's more to do with giving them the space to thrive and not just survive. So if you wanted to go check out Zen Habitats, again, my link is down in the description box. You can find my affiliate link, and you can go and check them out on Instagram at Zen Habitats. I think they're wonderful. I can't speak highly of them enough, so do go check them out. And if you have your own bearded dragon care tips or thoughts, again, do feel free to leave those in the comment section. I love to hear back from you and to hear your thoughts. And that's it. That's where I'm gonna wrap up today's video. I hope that it gave you something to think about. I hope that I was able to teach you something new, or give you a new opinion to ruminate over, and to perhaps, you know, have a chat with your animal friends as well about issues like this. Being an animal influencer, I'm not just interested in just care videos or just creature features or just, you know, pet haul videos. I like to have discussions with you. I like to share my opinions on, you know, various different animal current affairs. So if you enjoy videos like this, also give me some feedback. Let me know that I'm giving you what you want, or if you have an opinion for a way that I can create content that better serves you, again, feel free to drop a comment down below, and I would love to hear about that for sure. Thank you guys all so much for watching. I will see you in another video soon. Bye!